switched instruments here just to show you how a ladder braced small bodied Gibson would sound playing this style. Since I had these two guitars side by side and couldn't choose which one I was gonna do the video on, and this will be a close-up, but we're gonna look at the right hand in just a minute. So I started out with this. This lesson is going to be based upon elements that are very recognizable. They're classics, and they're elements of your rhythm guitar playing and your lead guitar playing. So you're going to need to master these classic elements of both. Put them together, and once you have them, you'll have something that'll begin to cement in your mind this 12-bar blues concept. And you can do it with what? With a blues guitar solo on the acoustic. That's what this is. It might be a little too zoomed in. That's just this guitar body is so much smaller. We're gonna have to put that like that. So it was up higher, but that actually looks just fine. So here I am, fretting the 2nd fret, 5th string. You have to be very conscious that you're just playing those two notes, those two strings, and you can hear the muting. And also you can hear the timing. There's a clear pause. I'm just going to keep playing it just for a minute. Hear that shuffle? So in the context of this, you'll let off to where when you're at this point with the ring finger off, you can slip into. The most important thing with this is when you slide into it, or however you get into it, you want the notes to ring out clearly. And make sure you're strumming 3, 2, 1. Not 4, not 2 and 1 only. You'll know instantly when you land right on it. If you want to slide away from it, that's fine too. And again, same thing. Make sure you make this shape. This is your D7 shape. Middle finger here, 3rd fret, G string. Ring, thinnest string, 3rd fret. Index, 2nd fret, B string. Sliding. So you're sliding into the 4th fret, and back to the 3rd, and back to the 4th, and you slide away from it. For your A, where your positioning changes slightly, you still have to just play 2 strings. You can hear the muting. Now check this out. Open D string, 1st fret on the 4th string. 2nd fret, 5th string, 1st fret, 5th string. Reach here for this bend on the 3rd fret thickest. So in context, and actually I hit this twice, just no twice, watch. That open A is twice. in position because you're using alternate picking. And then you land back into it. This again. But this time, B7. You see how you got to this first? That's your little trick to land on it. See, it's convenient. You don't have to put the whole chord down. This hand flies up and the finger lands on it. Boom. Down, down, down. The same thing with this. You just hit the open A. Everything comes off. Make your so that's a little trick. A lot of this stuff is with your hands coming off to make the whole thing work. Oh, but you need to play A7 here. So B7, A7. Boom. Down, A7. E7 chord shape with the upstroke on the thinnest string. Now here we go. It's very important you hit it at that extra time at the end. Here's what I mean. Watch. Because that helps you jump into the hammer-on, so to speak. Which is a hammer-on to the first fret. Then I reach up to grab the B7, pluck the 5th string, and then go down, down, making sure that even on this 3/4 guitar, it's all ringing out. So let's look at the other hand before this curves. I haven't even done this with the other hand yet. I haven't even thought about how that's going to work. Starting from the beginning. That's what the muting looks like. I'm going to do it from over here. Remember, from strumming from here. Straight downstrokes. Back again. See how I'm just playing 2 strings again. Now go for your A. 2 strings. Now remember this, plucking from the D string. Twice. With some vibrato. Vibrato is just bending. There's a little more to it than that, but this again. Make sure you're strummed from here. B7. Boom. 5th string. Down, E7 chord shape. Upstroke. There we go. You want to know how to do this is your E7 is middle finger, 2nd fret, 5th string, and our index finger or first finger, 1st fret of the 3rd string. So I'm playing it this way, and I'm just strumming strings, the 2 fat strings, and then I'm going from here to the G, sliding from 3 to 4 on the G string. This is what I was talking about right here. Fifth string, down, down, B7, and I'm muting the thickest string with my middle finger in case you didn't know that's how you're supposed to play B7. tricked you. Thought it was going to be the same thing again. Right? So you got to remember that is the trickiest part. You want me to slow that part down? Because that is by far the trickiest part. Just go from the beginning, ridiculously slow. And I'll show you the other hand. Sorry, that's a little too slow. So slow this way down. This guitar is very small, and sometimes switching between 3/4 scale and your regular size instrument does pose a challenge, I'll be honest. Okay, here we go. So you want to know what I'm doing with this is I'm basically just my first finger is kind of making a mini bar here at the 2nd fret, but I'm really just focusing on strings 4 and 3, and I'm playing with the open string together with the 4th string. So real slow. Right here at this pause, you go. I mean, you can rewind on YouTube. I don't need to. I just did it. As for the vibrato, how am I doing that? Well, I'm doing it with the. Typically, your ring finger is going to be your strongest finger for bending anyway. But bear in mind, we're pushing downwards. There's nowhere to push up. We're on the thickest string. So it's... Well, you just kind of... You'll know when it sounds right. And then you land right back into it. Before you make a big leap, a big jump where your hand goes backwards. So you have to know B7. That is a big leap. You're all the way over here. And all of a sudden, boom, you have to. With the right hand just a second. I want to show you about this kind of strumming that I was talking about. That as long as you keep your hand going in time, these are all downstrokes. That's fine. You'll hear me go like this. In other words, it's not always the same. That's the whole point, you know? Sometimes we go like this. turnaround, but that's the one I want to do. I call this the Buddy Holly turn, because I always think of That'll Be the Day sliding into the 4th fret on the G string. Reaching here for the 2nd fret 5th string. You could even play it once. That would sound like this. You could even just go. There's a lot of different little things you could do. That's the whole idea of a 12-bar blues. Subtlety you could do just within this. Like that sliding element. That's subtle. Sometimes you don't want that. I want to check out real close the palm muting, because I meant to talk about that in a previous one. That's a good angle with that. So just pay attention to the palm muting, how it works. It's better to observe sometimes. Kind of comes off a little bit. Goes back. The palm actually lands first. Muting a lot on the A. Back to muting again. Right, there's no muting there. How about the B7? No muting. How about the A? Hit that 5th string, nothing's happening. Put the chord down. E7. Turn around, there's no muting. In the ending, there's no muting until you actually end it, end the solo. Because what I just showed you was a 12-bar blues, easy guitar solo for beginners. On a vintage Gibson, mind you. Alright, let's go back over here real quick. Now it's a little too far. Gotta be careful with this. Well, at least we got the first half of it. See, I put these new books out trying to add something cool to the background. I got the harmonica book, 100 blues licks. I got the Les Paul song covers, and the Orange Jam. None of this is being used or really pertains to this. But it's just I thought it was a little something extra to add, for your. And I wanted to show you something interesting as well. Now that I remember it, was the difference in picks. Because, I think I used the wrong pick for this. I meant to use this pick. I was using this pick last night. This alligator pick. It's a Dunlop 0.96 millimeter. And I thought it had went missing. I think tonight I used this Dunlop 1.14 millimeter. So this is thicker and stiffer. And I was comparing it with the difference between this credit card pick. And I thought I would show you the little difference. So here's the credit card pick, which is free. show you the difference in tone, as I'm talking about the difference in tone. So you just listen to this. And just tell me which one you like better. All right. No, here's the one I wanted to use today. Shoot. I'll have to start over. Let me start over. That's how you know I'm tired. I've been up too long. Alright, this is a credit card pick. Okay, so that's the credit card pick. Check out this one. For whatever reason, last night I noticed a profound difference. So you also want to experiment with different picks, but for this, you have to pick your gear, and for this I wanted the kind of thick, firm pick. One of these ones, see, I've got two here, the alligator ones. All right. So once you're here with the one finger on the guitar, that's when you make the transition to the shape, where you're in position. And it's not until you're firmly in position that you begin the sliding and the playing of all three strings. So you play it once and then you slide into it. Forget the slide for now. Then once you're here, you kind of pause again. And then you're able to land back into it. It's exactly the same. Let off. Just enough time. This is when you need to be prepared to land on the A. You notice my fingers are at an angle now. And that's what, you want to use these fingers. See what my thumb now is doing? It's over here. Thumb is like this. And the back of the neck here. See, I'm rocking back and forth because it's a shuffle. All downstrokes. That would be a good time to look at the right hand, actually, even though I'm admiring this background. Because look at this, all downstrokes. See how you go down and then up? Now you're just in position to do that downstroke on this thickest fat string on the third fret. And then you're doing downstroke again. So that, like this. So that's, you have have to be careful with your picking choices, you know, how you're going to pick. Try to be efficient on the guitar. It just makes everything more logical, where you land and so forth. I don't know, if I was to really slow it. Remember, that's the open D string, first fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret, 5th string, 1st fret, 5th string, down on the 5th string open, up, 5th string open, little bend here on the 3rd fret, no G. But what we're doing here is we're playing in the key of E, and there's a reason guitar players love the key of E. Even if you'll notice, guitar players, acoustic guitar players, even electric, but if you'll notice, if they use a capo, they'll still break out those E licks. You know, just that they'll be using a capo. But you know, I've done videos on this subject in the past, but this wasn't even supposed to be a part 1 and 2. I wanted this to just be a part 1, or one video that was around 45 minutes long. That's what I was aiming for. A video that was 45 minutes long with no editing whatsoever. That, no editing whatsoever. It was using the Zoom In app that broke down the subject. You know. That's what I was going for. And I started out on the Martin. I really couldn't choose, and that's the other thing, is when you have a few different guitars, if you do, you really have to decide which one to play in which situation. But yeah, so that's pretty good. 30 minutes now. You have to make sure you don't want to do this. That's one of the hard parts. But once you land on it, it's pretty straightforward. You just stay on it. So I guess that would mean the hard part is going from this to landing and not on this, you see? That would be the challenge. Because once you land on it, it is possible to slip off and just play these two. I would say that would be the hard part. Repeat. A lot of the blues has to do with your repetition. And it's fine. Absolutely fine. The more of these you learn, the more variations you'll come up with. But you need a foundation. Just pause here. Now, how does it sound in time? Sound like this. But for explanation purposes, you know. And that's how slow you want to go. You don't feel ashamed of that. And you don't even need to do any vibrato or bend. If you didn't do it, it would sound like this. Just hang on it for a minute. See, that sounds absolutely fine. The vibrato just gives it a little bit of soul, but If you know what you're doing, you can just stay on it. How would it sound without any muting at all? Well, it's natural to do a little bit of muting, but you don't want that droning. You want so the shuffle down. That's the shuffle. See, there's actually a pause. Like if you pause the video, you could find a point where I'm absolutely like not moving at all. My hand is kind of positioned this way, kind of tucked in, but kind of loose with the fingers dangling slightly. Let's get to that pause though to show you I'll go slower. See that? There's definitely a pause there. How about with the A? See? What you're thinking of is your D7 up 2 frets. That's what I was trying to think of today. Your D7 up 2 frets. Sound kind of clean. You don't want too much excess string noise when you're doing all this. You have to be aware of all this. Making your guitar sound good. You know, if there's too much kind of all this muting and all these different things, it's subtle. You want the guitar to sound like you're playing is you know, like you don't have all these oddball noises coming out. We'll talk about that How do I achieve that? It's just your technique, your timing, making sure you're in position for everything at the right time. And that's done by going slow, you know, getting it down first. Alright guys, so I think that gives you a pretty darn good idea. I didn't think this would be the 45-minute one, but like I said, this is the vintage Gibson with the vintage tuning machines. Light as a feather guitar. You can see the crack. This was a center seam separation. The guitar also had a bridge plate repair. This is a replacement bridge, but it is a Brazilian rosewood bridge. And you can see this is actually real good lighting on the crack. This was a pickguard crack. And if you rub your hand right here on the guitar, you really can't feel it at all. The guitar tech, my guy, I'll give him a shout out. His name is Healy Guitars, and let's just say he's in Western Massachusetts. And he inspected it, did numerous repairs to it. When I received this guitar, they didn't disclose the pickguard crack, and there was kind of a dispute about them even acknowledging it, that didn't happen in shipping and so forth. Whereas the pictures, you could not tell there was a crack. In other words, this is a super vibey, light as a feather